Well, good afternoon and welcome to this year's Fall Faculty Assembly. I'm Rebecca Swan and I have the honor of convening this meeting today in my role as the chair of the Faculty Senate. I'd like to begin by noting that, as can happen this time of year, our live music performance did not occur because of illness, but we're grateful to the Blair faculty members who had planned to perform today, and we plan to feature them in the future. I'm proud to serve with Liz Catania as the vice chair from the College of Arts and Sciences, as in addition to the other members of the executive committee pictured here. Vanderbilt has long committed to a model of shared governance, and the Faculty Senate plays a vital role in that. The role of the Faculty Senate in the university's model is delineated in both the faculty manual as well as in the Code of Bylaws. The Senate serves as the representative, deliberative, and legislative body of the faculties. Our mission is to equitably serve in the voice for the Vanderbilt faculty. There are 66 voting senators, as well as the deans, who represent the 11 Vanderbilt colleges and schools. Much of the work of the Senate is conducted in the 8 standing committees, as well as the ad hoc committees or task forces, with motions and resolutions being brought to the Senate and administration in a flow of information to impact change. Our standing committees are intertwined within all elements of the institution, as seen here. In addition to our senators, there are ex officio members who are valuable contributors to the important conversations and work of the Senate. These include Chancellor Diermeier, Provost Raver, our vice chancellors, and additional administrative officers. Thank you to all for actively participating, as your insights and opinions allow us to fulfill our mission. Our focus for 22-23 will be on community clarity and communication. We look forward to re-engaging in person. We have an imperative to reinforce our professional and social connections as we continue to build on our work to contribute to the scholarly, research, and teaching missions of the university. We will begin with our first Senate meeting on Thursday, September 15th at 4:10 in the Faculty Commons on 19th Avenue. This beautiful space has been renovated for the faculty, and we plan to continue to advocate for increased use. We were recently able to hold our new senator and committee chair orientations, as well as a lovely reception that was hosted by the Chancellor and Provost for the Senate. This year will also bring an emphasis on clarity of the core identity of the Faculty Senate, clarity to understand shared governance, where it happens and how it happens, to move the work of the Senate forward as we advocate for the faculty in our critical role here. Although the executive committee meets at least weekly, the majority of the work of the Senate occurs in our 8 standing committees, in addition to ad hoc committees or task forces. Through the charges provided to the standing committees this year, we hope to better clarify our role as a Faculty Senate and what that means within the landscape and fabric of the university. Additionally, 2 task forces, the Task Force on Ministerial Effectiveness, or the TFAE, and the Clinical Practice Research and Lecturer Task Force, or CPRL, continue to actively move forward with continued work for the coming year. We want to position the faculty to be present and engaged partners in the exciting initiatives that will continue to enhance the missions of the university, both here and within the community, both locally and beyond. To be successful in our roles in the Senate, we need the faculty to contribute to our conversations, be aware of our ongoing work, and provide feedback to optimally be engaged. Our plans on engagement include facilitating bi-directional dialogue between the Senate and the faculty councils, as well as encouraging regular communication from faculty. So I encourage all of you who are here today or are watching the recording to engage with us and provide genuine feedback and ideas. We want to hear from you. As you know, we value collaboration here at Vanderbilt, and we want this to be a truly collective process. Senate meetings will be in person, but will be available via Zoom for viewing by all faculty as well to promote transparency. Look for regular Faculty Senate articles in MyVU. Senators are also encouraged to report back to their schools or colleges after our monthly meetings so that information can be shared and all faculty will have the opportunity to be involved. With your partnership and engagement, we look forward to a productive year and welcome all your comments and feedbacks. Now I'm pleased to introduce our Chancellor, Diermeyer. An internationally renowned political scientist and management scholar, he has served as Vanderbilt University's 9th Chancellor since July 2020. He is University Distinguished Professor of Political Science and University Distinguished Professor in the Owen Graduate School of Management, a Fellow of the American Academy of Arts and Sciences, the Guggenheim Foundation, and the Canadian Institute for Advanced Research. Chancellor Diermeyer has published 4 books, with the 5th coming this spring, and more than 100 research articles, mainly in the fields of political science, economics, and management, but also in other areas ranging from linguistics, sociology, and psychology to computer science, operations research, and applied mathematics. Please welcome Chancellor Diermeier.
Thank you, Rebecca, for your leadership and for the kind introduction. Provost Raver, esteemed faculty, and honored guests. First of all, let me thank you all for making the time to be here today with us to start the new semester. And as we embark on this new academic year, we are, I believe, at an important and significant moment in Vanderbilt's history. In 2023, Vanderbilt will celebrate its sesquicentennial, marking 150 years since the university was founded. Cornelius Vanderbilt and our founders' intent was to build the great university of the South, to bind the wounds of a divided nation by bringing people of opposing viewpoints together in common purpose, and to make new discoveries in service of the common good. In the 15 decades that followed, we have far exceeded our founders' hopes for what Vanderbilt could and has become. I'm pleased to report that the state of our university is stronger than it has ever been. The momentum that we have built together continues and thrives by all measures. Our endowment is now valued at more than $10.5 billion, the highest in our history. In all of you, we have world-class scholars, innovators, and thinkers, our most accomplished and expert faculty ever. We are enrolling our most diverse and qualified undergraduate student body, and last year, for the first time in our history, we exceeded $1 billion in external research funding. I want to thank Provost Raver for her leadership of our research enterprise and her tireless advocacy for expanding the resources you need to discover and innovate. Vanderbilt has long been a place where great minds have dared to grow. We have been on a steady upward trajectory since our founding and right up to the bold initiatives of the last 2 decades. The pursuit of discovery and the courage to take risks are in the fabric of who we are as an institution. And today, we are emboldened to take our collective ambition much further. As we take stock on the eve of our sesquicentennial, the obvious question for all of us is, where do we go from here? And the answer is that it's time to expand our reach around the world. We must make Vanderbilt a university with an undeniable global presence, known and admired through work, relationships, and impact beyond North America. We are well positioned to do this. From the progress we have made in recent years, we know the formula for daring to grow. First, we must continue to invest in discovery and research. Vanderbilt has steadily expanded the research funding we provide to augment federal funding, and we will continue to do more. The Faculty Senate Task Force on Administrative Efficiency Effectiveness that you've just heard mentioned has pointed to the need to continue to invest in our research and grant support infrastructure. This had led to a highly productive partnership between faculty staff, Provost Raver, Vice Chancellor Brett Sweet, and their respective teams. This initiative is a paradigm of shared governance that doesn't shy away from looking at difficult issues, but chooses to address them in a spirit of partnership, transparency, and collaboration. I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to Task Force Chairs Vicki Green and Tom Palmieri former faculty Senate chairs Catherine McTammany and Mark Magnuson, former vice chairs Ben Harris and Ryan Mickdorf, and the entire faculty senate for their commitment to Vanderbilt and a shared government culture deeply rooted in the values that make our university so special and unique. Second, we must continue our investments in graduate and undergraduate education. We have great momentum in our approach to the undergraduate experience, from the leadership of Vice Provost Tang to new strategies emerging from the Career Center and our continued push ahead on the residential college model for all undergraduates. Those of you on campus during move-in weekend, and I was so pleased to see so many of you there, saw the energy and excitement that our undergraduates embody. In the days after move-in, I was gratified to get an email from one parent who wrote, and I quote, "The emphasis on collaboration, the critical nature of all aspects of the whole student, and your assertion that we are proud but not satisfied offered me assurance that our daughter is truly now living in a place that will love, affirm, and challenge her daily." Couldn't have said it any better. This comment is a reflection of the Vanderbilt way, and everyone in our community is to be commended for making our culture so salient to the new members of our community, because you can only make it salient if you live it day to day. As for our graduate students, we have, with leadership from Provost Raver, already begun investing in their development and education. Many of you are the closest mentors of these students, so you know how much these investments mean to them. Our efforts include a $5 million annual provost investment in addition to existing graduate education, research and endowment funds, launching student success stipends for newly enrolled PhD students to help jumpstart their doctoral research, and additional funds to advance graduate research to conferences, lab visits, and fieldwork. These investments are just the beginning as we look at supporting our graduate students on the eve of 150th year. And finally, we must double down on our commitment to the free expression and open inquiry that are fundamental to our purpose of delivering transformative education and path-breaking research. This means providing abundant forums for discussion and debate. We're working with students to set expectations for acceptable and productive discourse and helping them to sharpen their ability to reason and to listen. It means continuing to practice principled neutrality by not taking positions as a university at the institutional level on political matters, so that we leave room for free-ranging discussion and debate among you and your students. And it means cultivating a campus culture in which we welcome divergent and diverse viewpoints, relish debate, and avoid the rush to righteousness and the demonization of our opponents that has polarized too many campuses and indeed our national politics. Our goal as a university must always be to foster debate and discussion, not to settle it. We must be committed to a culture of respectful discussion and civil debate, rooted in the recognition that we are members of one community, guided by the same purpose and committed to the same values, even and especially when we disagree on the issues that matter to us most. And we need to model this approach every day, and I hope you will join me in doing so. So, we know what we need to do to continue to raise our stature and extend our impact around the world. And we're ready for the next chapter in our history. Our Dare to Grow mentality long ago pushed us past becoming the great university of the South that our founders envisioned. Today we stand among the most elite education and research institutions in the United States. Yet, as our reputation grows close to home, it is clear that we are lagging in global recognition. Recruitment of faculty, graduate students, and postdocs is considerably more difficult when we don't have a visible presence globally and when our reputation at home doesn't sufficiently travel abroad. International students, scholars, and faculty naturally gravitate towards the institutions on their radar, and we are not where we need to be. We must set our sights on a stronger global presence for Vanderbilt. This is top of mind every day for me and from all of us in university leadership. We know that we must foster more collaboration with international researchers, partner with more of the best international faculty and students, publicize more of your innovations and discoveries worldwide, and expand and strengthen our global alumni network. Guiding us in this effort will be the important findings from the university's International Strategy Working Group, convened by former Provost and Interim Chancellor Susan Venti. This is a report that many of you helped inform, and its recommendations are built on your suggestions and insights. The time to accelerate those efforts is now. We see not just the opportunity, but the very real strategic need for Vanderbilt to become a truly global university. Expanding our global presence is just the beginning of what we will discuss, imagine, and celebrate as we mark our sesquicentennial. Such milestones as the sesquicentennial are opportunities to look back and to look ahead. I hope all of you will join in the many events being planned for the coming year, for you are essential to shaping Vanderbilt's next century and a half. And as an aside, I was really excited to see the many proposals for research projects related to the sesquicentennial that we just received. Provost Raver and I very much want to hear your ideas, not only about Vanderbilt's past and present, but also about its future, about how we can unlock our potential even further as we set out on our next 150-year journey. It's to this kind of collaboration, conversation, and collective imagining that we will further strengthen our culture of discovery, find the courage to grow, and together build that great university of the 21st century. We are, after all, one Vanderbilt, one university, one community, daring to grow together. Thank you for the work you do every day to advance our noble mission. My very best wishes to you for a rewarding, successful, and impactful academic year. Thank you.
Thank you, Chancellor Diermeyer, for your remarks. We will next welcome Vanderbilt's Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, Cybele Raver, who offers a truly unique perspective on education. She's a psychologist, professor, researcher, clinician, educator, and administrator. She's a Cornelius Vanderbilt Professor of Psychology and Human Development at Peabody College. Since joining Vanderbilt in 2021, Provost Raver has catapulted the university's scholarship and research operations by recruiting visionary leaders, launching new pathways for faculty and student support, and establishing processes to facilitate bold and collaborative discovery across the university. Provost Raver earned a Bachelor of Arts from Radcliffe College of Harvard University, studying psychology and filmmaking. She later earned a Doctor of Philosophy from Yale University in developmental psychology. Please join me in welcoming Provost Raver.
Thank you so much, Chair of Faculty Senate, Dr. Swan. It's wonderful to have the opportunity to be here. Welcome, and thank you everyone for joining today and this afternoon. I really want to first thank Chancellor Diermeyer for his compelling remarks about the future of Vanderbilt's global presence and our trajectory as an institution. And I really want to thank him for inviting us collectively, inviting you and me to collectively shape our vision of this university both through processes like the sesquicentennial and the amazing number of committees that have been convened in the very short time that I've served as provost. We really find that your voice is central to the vision and mission of this institution in so many ways, and I've been so impressed by the ways in which the Chancellor has given us the opportunity to do that through those mechanisms. And third, I just really want to appreciate the way in which this Chancellor, you, Daniel Diermeyer, are our champion, not just a champion of rising leaders like me in higher education, but I think a champion of every faculty member here in this university, by positioning Vanderbilt and the work that we do so that it shines not only on a national but on an international stage, as we work together to solve some of the most immense and existentially challenging questions of our time. So with that, I also particularly want to address and thank all of the faculty and the Faculty Senate as we come here together. Your commitment to shared governance is such a standout example of the Vanderbilt way in the ways that I think that our Chancellor has just outlined. But I've experienced in this first year this form of radical collaboration in ways that I think are worth mentioning. Specifically, we don't just talk the talk. I've served at 4 other universities, and I think the sense of shared governance has sometimes a feeling of claim, but not necessarily evidence. And here, just in 1 year, my experience of walking the walk with you through, for example, the TFAE report has been really, really important. The Task Force on Administrative Effectiveness gave us over 200 recommendations, and we've been moving through those recommendations and addressing them after coding them for highest priority, medium priority, hardest to solve, easiest to solve, etc. Our culture of collaboration truly sets Vanderbilt apart. As a follow-up example, I was able to give charge to the follow-up committee of faculty and staff working together to actually monitor and support the implementation of those responses that the university is making to the TFAE report's concerns. And it's the first time in any university I've ever been able to call up a committee and issue the charge in August. I don't know if that strikes anybody else as impressive, but that idea that everyone's willing to come to work to be able to do that kind of shared governance so early in the semester is deeply, I think, emblematic of that level of walking the walk. Second, I think the way in which we really model a sense of belonging has been profoundly important to me as your provost. I see tenure stream, clinical practice, lecture, and research faculty in every moment of my passing through the university, working with each of you and working with all of you on the Faculty Senate. This was true, as you might have seen on Twitter. I posted photos and images of visiting 4 different classrooms on the first day of class. I was deeply impressed by the ways in which you, our faculty, were not only providing incredibly dynamic lectures, but thoughtful course design, and specifically the ways that you were training students to think about big issues with both rigor and precision and close attention to the relevance of those issues to topics in the real world. I know that means that some of you are getting up, as a colleague mentioned to me this morning, at 6 a.m., coming to the office before dropping your kids off to school to work on your syllabi. That kind of dedication, I think, is truly unique in ways that I really want to just mention and highlight to thank you for that level of commitment. And I think that contributes, as we cross the threshold this academic year, to a tremendous sense of building of momentum, a vibrant hum for me that I really feel as I cross different spaces in the university, whether it's the residence and dining halls, the classrooms, the lab, the art studios that I have recently visited. The spirit of discovery and innovation is so clearly at the core of our shared commitment to daring to grow. And in the halls of many of universities that I think we know about and have served in, the message often is that our job is to transmit acquired knowledge. But in this university, it's clearly our job as a highest caliber institution, and it's our privilege and our opportunity to train students in the creation of new knowledge. That creation of new knowledge through discovery and innovation truly sets us apart, and I think is really critical for me to communicate to you as not only our strength, but the possibility for our future. As Chancellor Diermeyer described, we've dramatically increased our faculty ranks and our support for you, our faculty. So, for example, I believe we've hired over 150 new faculty, and we've increased our non-tenure track clinical practice research and lecture faculty by 66% in these last few years. Those numbers really speak to the ways in which you, our faculty, participate in building this institution. But in addition, in terms of this spirit of discovery, are pushing the boundaries of our research reputation and profile, we've also committed a tremendous amount of resource to research through our Vice Provost Padma Raghavan's office. You may have been aware that we have spent, in addition to having received and spending $1 billion in research funding out in the world of research, we've actually committed over $1 million in funding to our faculty here on campus through programs like Seeding Success, Scaling Success, and Rapid Advance Microgrants. If anybody here has applied for those grants, I hope your experience aligns with the data that I have, which is that the decision-making on those funding opportunities is very, very rapid, so that we position you to do your best work. And we hope to be making more clear and more legible those investments this fall in this very strong push to support research, innovation, and creative expression. We've also launched a number of different ways, not only to draw internationally stellar faculty here to Vanderbilt, but to make your work clearer to the wider, broader international community through our communications strategy and through something as simple as inviting stellar faculty from around the world to visit Vanderbilt's campus and to stay in our West End tower. Those moments of elevating our profile through our scholarly work are central, I think, to positioning us in this global approach going forward. And just to be clear about my unequivocal support, not only for undergraduate research and undergraduate immersion through the recent hiring of Tiffany Tung as our Vice Provost of Undergraduate Affairs, and Amy Johnson in her role as Assistant Vice Provost in Experiential Learning. We've also made unequivocal commitments to arts, archives, and libraries through my appointment of Tracy Sharpley Whiting as our new Vice Provost of Arts and Libraries, our hiring of Amanda Hellman as the new Fine Arts Gallery Director, and our hiring of our new Head of Libraries, John Shaw. These are phenomenal opportunities for us to truly push forward the clear sign that our libraries, for example, as a precious resource, are not simply for our undergraduates, but are for all of you, our faculty, to use and to activate in order to really propel and catalyze your research. With that, I'm just very excited to continue to partner with the deans in propelling us forward, both here in Nashville and in the world, and to tell you very much how the importance of the collegial collaborative environment that we've been able to build with you, our faculty senate, and with you, our broader faculty. So with that, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak, and have a wonderful rest of our celebration.
Thank you, Provost Raver. We now begin the recognition portion of our ceremony, and we'll start by celebrating faculty members who have worked at Vanderbilt for 25 years. You see displayed on the screen, yes we do, the names of the faculty being recognized today. Together they bring a combined 925 years, yes we counted it, of service to the university. And they represent 6 colleges and schools: College of Arts and Science, Divinity School, School of Engineering, School of Medicine, Basic Sciences, and Peabody College. If you are here today and you are part of this distinguished list, please stand so that we can recognize you. while you receive your fifth chill 25-year chair, yes, that's coming, in the spring, we're proud to recognize you now for your deep commitment to the discovery and collaboration in the pursuit of excellence. Thank you for your 25 years of service to the Vanderbilt community. It's now time to celebrate this fall's faculty awards, honoring those faculty members who have made a significant impact through scholarship, research, or creative expression. Nominations for these awards were considered by the Faculty Research Awards Review Committee, chaired by Vice Provost Tracy George. The committee includes prior Faculty Research Award recipients across Vanderbilt's 10 schools and colleges. President Provost Raver and Chair Swan, will you please join me on stage to help me present these awards? We will begin with the Chancellor's Awards for Research, which recognize excellence in the works of research, scholarship, and creative expression published or presented in the last 3 calendar years. This year, we're presenting this award to 6 faculty members across 5 different projects. I will invite each individual faculty member to come on stage and receive their award after the name is announced. And then we take like a really great picture together as well. Okay, so don't run right away. The first recipient of the Chancellor Award for Research is Mariana Binlos, Assistant Professor of Pathology, Microbiology, and Immunology. Mariana was nominated by Eric Scarr for her co-authored piece. Okay, this is a mouthful, okay? I'm going to try to get through this slowly. High-fat diet-induced colonocyte dysfunction escalates microbiota-derived trimethylethylamine N-oxide. Okay? So I practiced all morning, all right? This article was published in the journal Science in 2021 and investigates the role of a high-fat diet in cardiovascular disease. I guess you could infer that directly from the title, right? Findings by Mariana's laboratory published in this article point to the metabolic interactions between intestinal epithelium and the gut microbiota as a previously unexplored player in the pathogenesis of obesity-associated cardiovascular disease. This research has been featured in research articles in Nature Chemical Biology and in Nature, and has received a Pew Biomedical Scholars Award and an R1 grant from the National Institutes of Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases. Congratulations, Mariana. All right, this was the hardest title. Gets a little easier from now on. Having said that, I'm delighted to honor 2 engineering faculty members whose work offers revolutionary advances in their field. Joshua Caldwell, Flowers Family Chancellor Faculty Fellow and Associate Professor of Mechanical Engineering, and Bennett Landman, Professor and Chair of Electrical and Computer Engineering. Bennett and Joss were nominated by Nyanjan Sakar for their co-authored piece, Deterministic Inverse Design of 10 Plasma Thermal Emitters with Multi-Resonant Control, which was published in the journal Nature Materials in 2021. The Caldwell Lab has been developing infrared sources to exhibit narrow bandwidth, polarized, and potentially directional emission that would match an arbitrary target spectrum. The work highlighted in this article offers multiple revolutionary advances beyond the current state of the art, and it has a large impact. A leading manufacturing company within the semiconductor industry, confidentially, so we're not naming the name, has approached the Caldwell Lab about designing and developing TPP emitters for multi-gas sensors that could potentially be included with semiconductor processing equipment. Congratulations, Joss and Bennett. Our next recipient of this year's Chancellor's Award for Research is Emily Grebel, Associate Professor of German. Emily brought her fan club, and she is Associate Professor of German, Russian, and East European Studies and Associate Professor of History. Emily was nominated by Lutz Köpnick for her book, Muslims and the Making of Modern Europe, published in 2021 by Oxford University Press. The book shows that Muslims were citizens of modern Europe from its beginning, and in the process it rethinks not only European history, but the concept of Europe itself. Emily draws on a wide range of archives to uncover Muslims' negotiations with state authorities over boundaries of Islamic law, the nature of religious freedom, and the meaning of minority rights. She so shows how their story is also Europe's story. Emily's book is a milestone publication that has been called a book of the decade. She's writing history from the ground, and her superb skills show in the telling of individual stories that reflect and refract larger histories. Congratulations, Emily. All right. We are also proud to recognize John Mclean, Stevens Professor and Chair of Chemistry with the Chancellor's Award for Research. John was nominated by Steve Townsend for his co-authored piece, Collision Across Section Compendium to Annotate and Predict Multi-Omic Compound Identities. This paper was published in the journal Chemical Science in 2019. The Mclean group is regarded as pioneers in the development and application of ion mobility mass spectrometry, IMMS, for omics analysis. The work in this paper presents a large, unified collision cross-section or CCS compendium of experimentally acquired CCS values. The predictive abilities of the unified CCS compendium will improve in specificity and expand across more chemical classes as data from the IMMS community is contributed, vetted, and integrated, providing an invaluable tool for collaborative scientific research. And he did all of this while serving as chair of the Faculty Senate. Congratulations, Sean. Our final recipients today of a Chancellor's Award for Research is Yeshar Yadav, Miltner Underwood Professor of Law. Yeshar was nominated by Ingrid Wirth for her article, The Failed Regulation of U.S. Treasury Markets, which was published in Columbia Law Review in 2021. In her path-breaking and award-winning article, Yeshar addresses this question. Notice the magnitude of this question. What would it mean for the world economy if the financial market thought to be the world's safest, U.S. Treasuries, is actually at great peril? Discuss, okay? This work provides a comprehensive and detailed analysis of the U.S. Treasury market and its weaknesses, while also providing proposals for reforming that market, careful proposals that have a real chance of adoption. This article was selected by the Corporate Practice Commentator as one of the 2021 top 10 articles addressing corporate and securities law, one of the highest honor in the field. Congratulations, Yeshar. I now present the Chancellor Awards for Research on Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion, in honor that we are presenting to 3 faculty members this year. This award recognizes excellence in research, scholarship, and creative expression that specifically advances our understanding of equity, diversity, and inclusion. The first award goes to Joanne Golan, Assistant Professor of Public Policy and Education. Joanne was nominated by Christopher Loss for her book, Scripting the Moves, Culture and Control in a No Excuses Charter School, published in 2021. Joanne also bought her fan club. This work offers a window into an expanding model of urban education reform that uses scripts that rule behavior, from how to dress, from how to applaud, we know how to do this pretty well here, to how to complete homework. Through 18 months of ethnographic fieldwork, 132 interviews with students, teachers, administrators, and parents, and analysis of tons of documents and data, Joanne argues that no excuses charter schools dictate too rigid a level of social control by both teachers and the predominantly low-income Black and Latina students they serve. She concludes that, despite good intention, scripts constrain the development of important interactional skills and introduce some of the very inequities they mean to disrupt. Congratulations, Joanne. Second Chancellor Award for Research on Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion goes to Jennifer Shinall, Professor of Law. Jennifer was nominated by Ingrid Wirth for her article Protecting Pregnancy, published in the Cornell Law Review in 2020. Both the law school and Ingrid are on a roll right now. This is the second award for them today. Jennifer's work is a sophisticated analysis of an important and complex question. Which laws designed to assist pregnant women in the workplace actually succeed at doing so? Jennifer has uncovered important data about pregnancy and used it to design an ingenious study based on the differential timing of certain kinds of laws in different states. With the recent overruling of Roe versus Wade, we can expect new legislative efforts regarding reproductive health and labor market outcomes for pregnant women, which makes Jennifer's works all the more relevant and important. Congratulations, Jennifer. And the final Chancellor's Award for Research on Equity, Diversity, and Inclusion goes to Rebecca Vandever, Assistant Professor of History of Art and Architecture. Rebecca was nominated by Kevin Murphy for her book, Designing a New Tradition, Louis Melu Jones and the Aesthetics of Blackness, published in 2020 by Penn State University Press. This work presents a new perspective on the art and career of Louis Melu Jones, a well-known artist who has not received adequate scholarly attention. Rebecca considers the importance of Africa for Jones' work and examines the broader roles played by class, gender, and politics in the construction of African American art histories as a whole. She argues for Jones' lasting place in American art history as an art producer, as an influential teacher who impacted generations of African American artists. Tracing Jones' aesthetic transformations along a biographical arc, Rebecca offers a new framework for thinking about the connection between America and Africa and the role of the African diaspora in the creation of African American artistic identity. Congratulations, Rebecca. I always love these awards because they give us such a sense of the range and quality of our research. It's wonderful to see that. Our next award is the Thomas Jefferson Award, which honors a faculty member for distinguished service to Vanderbilt through extraordinary contributions as a member of the faculty in the councils and government of the university. The recipient of this year's Thomas Jefferson Award is Santa Victoria Green. Vicky, who is a Stevenson Professor of Physics, was nominated by John Gear, M. Shane Hudson, and John Wixbo, who himself is a past recipient of the Thomas Jefferson Award. Vicky's substantive with long-standing service to Vanderbilt since she joined the faculty in 1994 has spanned her department, her college, the provost office, and the university as a whole. Here are just a few examples of her many and lasting contributions. She led the much talked about task force on administrative and ministerial effectiveness and did the hard work of compiling information and producing an actionable report. This major effort promises to have long-term impact supporting our faculty. As a chair of the Faculty Senate in 2018 to 2019, she advocated for fellow faculty with insight, determination, and a commitment to faculty well-being. Throughout her career, she has supported and helped advance women in STEM disciplines, and her demonstrated effectiveness, dedication, and talents have led her to her latest role as Director of Equity, Diversity, and Engagement for the College of Arts and Science. As Dean Gear noted in the award nomination, she has done so much, so willingly, and she always brings her best to the task. Vicky, congratulations, and thank you for your enduring contributions. All right, grand finale. Our final award today is the Earl Sutherland Prize for Achievement in Research, Vanderbilt's Top Research Award. The honoree for this award is selected based on achievements in research, scholarships, or creative expression that have garnered significant critical reception and are recognized nationally or internationally. I am pleased to present this year's Sutherland Prize to Elizabeth Zeckmeister, Cornelius Vanderbilt Professor of Political Science. Liz's research provides data-driven insight into some of the most pressing issues of our time. She's achieved international recognition and impact while also leading in research-focused teaching and training here at Vanderbilt. Her focus is comparative political behavior and public opinion, particularly in Latin America. Her work includes studies of voting, ideology, political parties, representation, charisma, and crisis. She has received support from the National Science Foundation for investigations into public opinion consequences of terrorist threat and natural disaster, and she has published articles in her discipline's leading journals, such as the American Journal of Political Science and the Journal of Politics. She also co-authored several books, including Democracy at Risk: How Terrorist Threats Affect the Public. Data gathered through the Latin American Public Opinion Project, for which Liz is the director, and its America's Barometer survey provide the foundation for answers to many of her research questions. Liz has commented that what is exciting about America's Barometer and the Latin American Public Opinion Project is that through them, she and her team produce academic research, but they also produce research that gets used by policymakers in their decisions. Liz was nominated by Dean John Gear. Liz, my most sincere congratulations on this tremendous honor. Congratulations to all our honorees today. You represent our values and bold ambition of Vanderbilt's many scholars and researchers. Thank you very much.
I'd like to echo congratulations of all the faculty honored here at today's event. And I'd like to thank Chancellor Diermeyer and Provost Raver for joining us today. This concludes our fall faculty assembly, and I invite everyone to join us outside on the plaza for wine and hors d'oeuvres. Thank you for joining us.